Okay. Well, that's why it didn't take. It's giving me a Twitter error.
Oh,
I don't want. Okay, are we live on everything else? Anybody? Bueller?
I think we are.
We are live on Twitch at least.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube too. I just got the YouTube.
I know how to click buttons. Oh. So, should we wait for a few people to come on?
Yeah, we can see who's popping on here.
Hi, Divine Woo. It's her first Tarot Tuesday. Welcome. We're going to get this party started in a minute here. I'm going to go over the rules in just a second. And I'm still not seeing it on my live feed. Come on.
Let's see here. We got it on Twitch.
I saw Twitch pop up, but Facebook is just not operating.
Yeah.
Although I should not.
I got Twitch and I got YouTube.
It says we're live on Facebook.
Let me hop off of.
All right, Divine Woo, type join in the chat. We'll put you first on the list for a quick reading. If you'd like a more thorough reading, it is $5. You can do that via Facebook or Twitch. In Twitch, you're going to buy bits. In Facebook, you're going to buy stars. But we are happy to do your quick reading for free. If you want to let us know what you'd like us to read, that would be fantastic. If you just like an overall general, that's good too. And why is this just not coming on for me? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Facebook's still giving you fits.
Nope, it's done now. All right.
Yay, we're on all the things now.
We're on all the things. So, Chris, do you read in the store regularly?
No, I usually do events in the store. I'm going to start coming in.
You're kind of cutting out on me. You froze. We lost her. Oh, Zach. Oh, look, I got all these other people. Hi, everybody. I didn't know you were here. Chris froze in a not so flattering position. I'm sure she'll be back in just a second. So far, we have Divine Woo, who's looking for a general. And I just briefly went over the rules, although I'm not seeing a whole ton of people on yet, so we'll probably have to go over them 5 or 6 more times. Zach, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you.
Yeah, hi.
I don't think we've ever actually even met in person.
I feel like we probably have, because you look very familiar.
Do I?
So, yeah.
I think it's because I'm getting old and all old people look alike.
I usually get that a lot, though. You look like someone I know, and I have to tell them, I've never seen you a day in my life. I don't know who you are. So I guess we're just in the club of people with familiar faces.
Yeah. Do you ever meet a person and think, I've met, not this particular one, but I've met this person before? Like, you feel like people are just repeating?
Yes. Like, I've met the same personality more than once.
Yes. But so similar. They could have been the same person, just with a different face. You know, that happens to me a lot. I'm always like, oh, wait, I know you. Never mind. It's weird. Hey, Karen, how you doing? You joining us for a reading? Get your name on the list. Divine, we'll start reading here in just a minute. We're going to see if we can get Chris back. And then you get opinions from 4 people, which is pretty good. Sierra, how you doing today?
Good.
All right, what are we all reading? I'm reading the Tarot of the Sorceress again, which is also available at Goddess Elite.
I'm using the same deck that I use for clients, which is the Gilded. It's the one that like almost everyone starts with anymore. The Gilded Tarot by Tiro Marchetti.
Yeah, that's a nice one though. It's pretty.
This is the second time this deck has come back to me. So it really wants.
I actually was thinking about buying one.
I started with it, I gifted it to someone, and then when I worked at a library, we got like a bunch of donations from like Los Scarabeo. And so we put them in circulation. And my supervisor was like, "Do you want this one? It's just a deck. It doesn't come with a book or anything." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I've had it before."
That's kind of weird. Divine Moose said, "I've got one for you. Have you ever seen your younger self?"
Yeah, my nephew. We were
Really?
baby pictures once, and like what the age he was at looked like the baby pictures we were going through of me at that age. So
Wow. That's pretty cool. We were talking about when you meet people and you feel like you already know this person, and not like in a good way. It's like I've met you like you're prototype 12. Like, yeah, I've met you a half a dozen times. You're the same person with a different face. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
did any of you ever Black?
Oh, there goes Zach.
Where'd you go? There you are.
Did any of you ever watch Orphan Black?
One episode.
One episode?
No, I haven't seen that one.
No. That's what it's like a lot. Like there's this one time. So we were all in the hospital. It was me, my two friends, they're married. I went down to the cafeteria and like this woman, it was an instance of, "I've seen you before." And I was like, "No, you haven't." And then she goes, "Well, your friend looks looks familiar too." And she goes, "Do you know who Curious George is?" And I was like, "Do you mean the man in the yellow hat?" She goes, "No, the monkey."
Or the monkey. That's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we ready to get this party started?
I think so.
We'll do some reading and then we'll chit chat more. Karen, do you want a reading? And throw in the chat what you'd want. All right. So Divine Woo is looking for a general. You're very quiet tonight.
Okay.
Who, me?
Hush. Yes, you.
Oh. No, it's listen to everybody else. I talk too much.
Karen also Shirley General, so we're good.
Okay.
All right. Who would like to go first? Shall we round robin?
All right. Let's see here.
Zach, are you pulling cards? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, you go first.
Okay. Yeah, the fire sign is always ready. Well equipped is another question, but okay. So we got the Devil, we got 5 of Pentacles, we've got 7 of Pentacles. So there may have been some stuff tying you down in the past, the recent past. We have the 5 of Pentacles. I think in the context of this is kind of saying, like, don't hyperfixate on the problem. You're not going to get anywhere if you do that. The 7 of Pentacles is look to your abundance and where you have resources and pay more attention to what those resources are. And then at the bottom of the deck, I have the Chariot, which is kind of like, if you do pay attention to those resources, you will move forward. You just have to put your energy into focusing on the resources and not so much on being anchored to the problem. Don't identify with the problem as much as you may be doing.
Okay.
Chris, you want to jump in?
Sure, I can go next. So I got the death card. And this is looking like something is really that has been causing a lot of kind of chaos energy going on with you is coming to an end or has come to an end. And there's a completely new outlook that you have going forward, which I've got the page of cups here. And these things are going to be met with a lot of emotional challenges. So you're going to want to look to your friends, look for some support, and kind of collaborate with people to get through this new phase of what's going on with you. But it's going to be a great growing point, and this whole new thing you're delving into is really going to change your perspective on things and bring you some good energy and some good movement going forward.
Sarah?
So I'm reading with the Carnival of Souls Oracle deck. And I'm going to probably butcher this, but the Amazing Sloth. She's actually a creature in Celtic folklore. But basically, when you draw this card, it represents that you need to really pay attention to the people that you're dealing with. That there might be some ties and some strings that maybe aren't super tight. That are honestly at the end going to wear you down. And on the flip side, if you've kind of been going through a hard time, it's noticing that something unexpected might happen that is either going to change the game for you or make it worse, and you just have to be prepared for either or. It's a card of basically unexpected things coming from either way.
You know, I really would think that tarot was crap if stuff like this didn't happen, because we all pulled a very similar. Because I got new start and another new start. This is your first try at whatever this new start is. So, you know, you're venturing out on your own. You're starting your own business. You decided to be single. Maybe you decided to be married. You're having your first kid, whatever it is. You need advice. You need to find a mentor, a mediator, someone to help guide you, to keep you heading in the right direction for this new start. And that's what I got. I hope that was good. Divine, if there's any follow-up and you put yourself back in towards the end, we'll go back through. Crystal Cat's here. Hi, Crystal. I'm going to put you on the list, so if you want to throw in the chat what kind of reading you want. Next up, we have Karen, our biggest fan, the OG Tarot Karen. And Karen's just going for a general too. Oh, you're welcome, ma'am. Did I just call someone ma'am? Shame on me. I apologize. I did not mean that. All right. Everybody shuffling. Do, 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 do. Now I'm going to have that stuck in your head all night. You're welcome.
I know.
At least it's not Mambo number 5. Who would like to start this round?
I think I'm good.
Okay, Chris is going.
So I'm reading with the Light Seekers right now. And I am getting that you have had some big things going on that you've had to really work hard for. And this could be something in your personal life or something that you actually are dealing with at work. And you were kind of at a point of really starting to grow and take off. So what needs to happen in the near future is to seek that blunt advice. And so I got the 6 of Wands, I've got the King of Swords, and I've got the World. So what these all are telling me combined here is make sure you take that advice, whether it is a little bit straightforward and almost kind of feeling hurting in some ways. But it's going to be good for you. It's going to cause a lot more growth, and everything's just, you're going to have so many choices of a path going forward that are going to be very, very good for you in overall growth. So that's what I'm getting for you.
Zach.
Okay, so we have Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. So there's going to be slow movement, slow growth. We also have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. So it's definitely going to be a very steady growth. It's going to be slow. With the Ace of Pentacles, I don't know if this is either assets for you or if this is a job. It has to do with money regardless. I don't know if it's both. The Six of Wands is triumph and overcoming things. So I think you're successful and continue. You're going to steadily continue with that growth and with that money. The Three of Pentacles, just keep your head down, stay focused. With the Hierophant, yeah, it's kind of like just keep doing what you've always done, keep doing what you're doing. It is going to be a very structured, it's going to be like a staircase. It's going to be foot in front of the other. It's not going to be like an elevator where you immediately get there.
So pull for the Voice of Souls Oracle for this one. I got the Mirror Effect, and that card has all to do with you're in this point where you can finally see the energy that you're giving off. You're able to finally see that at its peak, but in return, you're also being able to see what other people are bringing to you, and in that regard, you might find that a lot of people are not on the same path as you. And in that moment, like in this time, you're kind of like finding your tribe of people, because you're putting up with less because you know you're valuable more. So mirror who you are, and the right people will find you. And it will deflect the people that don't need to be in your life anymore.
Ooh. And that brings it back to me. Okay, I got the Empress. She's exuding some excited feminism. So you have found something within yourself that it's a path you'd like to pursue, or you've already started pursuing it. But in that excited feminism, so this is the empowerment. You've been empowered to do this. You are clumsily making your way through. You've kind of had a little bit of a financial backslide because of it, or your finances are not heading in the direction you would like them to. And the key to fixing all of that is collaboration. So you need to get together with some other people that are doing the same thing you're doing, who share your excited feminism, who can help you develop on more and get your goals heading in the right direction. I hope that makes some sense for you. Okay. Hi, Sherry. Sherry Woodall is putting herself in the mix. Sherry will be with you in just a minute. Real quick, I'm going to go over the rules. My name is Nikki. The lovely young lady on the screen to my right is Sierra. Below me is Zach. And to his right is Chris. We will do a quick reading for you. All you have to do is put your name down in the chat. Put your name down in the chat. Say join. Give us an idea of what kind of reading you want. If you want a general, love, work, whatever. If you would like a more extensive reading, you can do that via Twitch or Facebook. On Twitch, you're going to buy Twitch Bits. It is $5. Facebook, it is also $5, but you're going to buy stars, which I think is very pretty. If you would like to book a reading with any of these lovely people, feel free to go to goddesselite.com and book online. You can call the store. Chris has her own channel. You can message her on there, I'm sure.
I think I'm going to be on the Goddess Elite's website in the next week or so.
Oh, so there you go. You can book it through Goddess Elite's website. If you are out, not in local, not blah, 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 blah. blah, blah. If you are not local to North Olmsted, Ohio, we can also do Zoom readings for you. All you have to do is put in, there is an option for it when you book your reading. Or if you don't see the option, just put in the comment section, I would like it by Zoom. More than happy to help you out there. I believe all of these readers have a great bit of experience and an expanse of talents. Sierra throws bones, reads oracles. Lenormand, what else? What am I missing?
Crystal Skull readings.
Crystal Skull readings. How do I always forget that one? They always seem to jump in on every one of these readings. Chris, what do you read?
I do tarot readings, Lenormand, Oracle, and I also am a pet communicator and a medium.
Wow. You are very talented. I got to talk to my whoopee, so you and I need to have a chat. Zach, you got a lot going on too. What are your specialties?
I do so much.
He does so much.
Tarot.
So much.
He does so much.
Usually if I'm at the shop, I'm just going to do tarot, but I'm actually this coming weekend receiving one of the permission blessings to do Shomo, which is Tibetan dice divination. But that won't be offered probably for at least 3 years because you have to do retreat to accomplish the mantra, and then you can start reading for people with it. So,
Wow.
That's cool.
So we'll stay in touch, and in a couple of years you can throw some dice for me.
yeah.
After I talk to my whoopee. So. All right. Next in line is Crystal Cat, I think. Let's see. She wants to know what her dream meant. That her grandpa, who has been dead for 43 years, left her secret money. Let's dig into this dream. I like this one. Sarah, it's your turn to go first. Let's see what those oracle cards have to say about dreams.
I know.
There's a dream divination deck. I never played with it.
I haven't either. I don't dream, so it's really hard for me to dream interpret, but I will do what I can.
Also don't dream, but I stopped that a long time ago.
So I pulled communication, and all I'm getting is this is your grandfather's way of communicating with you. That this is your grandfather's way of communicating with you. As far as the money aspect goes, from Spirit's perspective, I'm not thinking that it's actually physical money, but it's something that he left behind for you. As far as it could be happiness, it could be something that you learned from him, or some sort of material thing that you might be given in the future. But this is your grandfather's way of just stepping in, seeing how you're doing, checking in, but doing it in a way that isn't like scary. Like ultimately, it's a dream that makes you happy. You're left with something really nice, and it's popping in, seeing what's going on.
Zach.
I think Zach got muted.
Muted.
I muted myself because the fan's on, so I don't want that to be loud and annoying.
I can't hear it, so you're fine.
So I have the Ten of Swords, the Devil, the Fool, and Temperance. I think this all together, to me, the way I would read this is cut it out. I don't know what that is in relation to whatever you're going through, but put an end to whatever your addictions or the things you're clinging to are and start looking forward and learn to balance your emotions and whatever you're going through right now, because you're just digging yourself into a... Yeah, cut it out is the message, I guess.
All right. I got the Emperor, which I'm assuming represents your grandfather. He comes through as a paternal figure, smart, caring. Then I got the Ten of Water, which we're going to go with. No, I'm sorry. It's the Ace of Water. That's a love. I think he wants to remind you of how much he cares for you. Because again, I got the Page of Water, and that is new emotions or emotions. And I think he felt like you needed to know how much he cared about you, and that he still does, and that he's still there for you. And unfortunately, I can't find the money. The money is love, and you have lots of it. So unless there's something in those that help you find the money, good luck. All right. Next on the list is Sherry. Sherry wants a future reading.
Define future, because I don't do times. Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Let's be specific with times.
Yeah, that's always a hard one.
Because I always tell people I'm bad at time. So if you want to know what's going to happen in the future, I can't tell you if this is going to happen tomorrow or if this is going to happen 12 years from now.
Let's say 6 months.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 6 months. Things could change within the 6 months that would negate whatever we read past that. I feel like, life is a highway, and I frequently get off at the wrong exit. And I suppose it's my turn to go first. What kind of hostess am I? All right. Okay. So I got the Lovers reversed. Assuming there's some kind of a breakup, not necessarily a love, but there's some division, and it's tied to emotion. So whatever it is upsetting you. I also got the Four of Fire also reversed. So that's, there's a disharmony or a disconnect. And then I got the Nine of Air, which says that you're worried about it. I don't have any conclusion after the worry. I'm sure you'll be fine. Everything will be okay. Just know that, it's only temporary. We only did a few months. A few months after that, you could be a whole new person and happy as a clam. I've had several breakups. You'll be all right. I promise. Promise. Sierra, you want to go next?
Sure. I pulled from my Black Salt Lenormand for this one. So I got the Clouds, followed by the Coffin, followed by the Crossroads. So this confusing time in your life is drawing to an end. It's on its way out, or it has already finished. And now you're going to be left with a choice that you have to make. I'm getting career. I don't know why, but I don't know if you plan on leaving your job or a job that's no longer for you. But you're going to be left with making a decision whether or not to take maybe another job or to stay in the one that you're at, or you're going to be given 2 other job options. But either way, you're going to be left with a choice you're going to have to make, and you have to kind of be ready to go forward in that.
Zach?
So at the bottom of the deck, I have the 8 of Wands, which means that everything's going to be up in the air. It's going to be very touch and go for a while. Nothing's going to be settled. Things are still waiting on where to land. I have the Chariot, which is quick movement. And I don't think that means that you're moving quickly. I think it's meaning that things are going to be quick decisions are going to. You need to make decisions kind of on the fly. We have the 4 of Pentacles, which is a bit of hesitation. So you might be putting off making certain decisions. You can't be doing that. You need to be kind of speedy about this. Then we have the Lovers. The Lovers for me represents making decisions, as Sierra said. I know Lovers came up for Nikki, but I'm taking this as there are decisions that absolutely need to be made, and they need to be made fairly quickly. Everything is dependent on how quickly you make those decisions. This is neither good nor bad. It's just there's going to be no movement, and you're going to be completely up in the air until you start putting ducks in their rows.
Agreed.
So this is very, very ironic here. I got the 4 of Pentacles, the Chariot, the 2 of Swords, and the Lovers. So you got to really drill this home about not what actually when I'm getting a little bit of a same but different read on this. I'm getting that there are some things that you're holding on to that you're holding them too close to you, and you're coming to you gotta let them go. There's these split decisions of not being able to quite decide which route to take. You're going to get some clarity with that, and don't blindly just make these decisions and just to make things of ease and say, okay, well, I'm just going to do this because it's the easiest, quickest thing to do. Do not do that, because it's definitely going to put some strain on some relationships. And relationships right now, since this has come up with all of us here, relationships right now are really, really important. Good relationships and bad relationships. Really look at them and really analyze what is good for you and let go of what is not serving you, to help you have that clarification to move forward well. So that's my take on it.
Well, that makes sense. I hope this helped. Give you a little bit of guidance for moving forward through the next couple months. I lost the Facebook chat, so hopefully everything goes swimmingly on this end. We are up to Brenda Kettleman, who would like a general reading. Okay. And let's see what's going on with Brenda. Seven of Water. Zach, you want to start us off?
Yeah. We have the 6 of Pentacles, which deals with generosity and being someone who gives favors without them having to be asked, I guess. It's being a resource for others without question. We have the 6 of Cups can mean someone from your past coming back to you. Sometimes it's a lover, especially since we also have the 2 of Cups. This could be someone of great importance, could be a family member. Often it deals with romantic relationships, but it really can be anyone of importance. So there might be someone who's coming back into your life that you thought had left. And they're really in need of like your grace, not your judgment, because we also have the Five of Wands, which to me indicates that there may have been some unease or some disagreement that happened and things maybe broke apart. So there is this coming back together because they need something.
Mm-hmm. Chris?
So I got the Tower, the King of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm feeling like there's been a major collapse and ending to something that was very troublesome for you or that was extremely stressful for you has or is really coming to an end quickly. And there's going to be some good guidance and good ideas for you to move forward in a positive direction. You just really have to take this advice seriously. And this is going to be somebody who is more of an authority figure, or maybe even if it's a work situation, a supervisor or a leader in the company that's gonna give you this guidance and help you really move forward. And it's gonna be very profitable for you, and not just in a financial sense, but it's going to be a big building block for you to make solid, good decisions and have a good, grounded, all around prosperous situation moving forward.
Sarah?
I pulled from two separate decks. Voice of Souls. First I pulled one, then I pulled this one. So we'll start off with this one to tie it all in. I got Source from the Voice of Souls deck, which has to do with you are really stuck into your life paths. And it is exhausting you because you are looking everywhere except for in the right direction. And unfortunately, no one can tell you where that direction is other than yourself. But you are wearing yourself out, like you're exhausted, trying to figure out what way is the right way, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And then pulling this guy, the Sandman, from the Carnival Souls deck, which has all to do about rest. If you don't rest and give yourself time to just be, it's going to make your situations worse. You're going to be burnt out. I keep getting just burnt out. You're burnt out. You're tired. You need to take time for yourself to figure out your inner workings and what you truly want out of life and where you want your path to, where you want this path to go and what fulfills you. And you have to figure it out sooner rather than later, or that burnout is going to make things worse for you.
Okay. I got the Page of Fire reversed. Isn't he cute? It's just a cute card. Reversed. The Page of Fire is a death to your creativity. It's I feel like you're repeating something. By the three cards I have in front of me, I got to play off of Zach and say you got an ex of some kind, an ex-friend, an ex-boyfriend, an ex-somebody who wants to work their way back, and you are tempted to do it. This is the card for illusion and temptation. It's fake. Don't fall for it. Don't take them back. Don't do it, because they just want to possess you. They want to take advantage of you and your kindness and your giving, and they don't really want you. They just want to use you. So that is where I came in. I didn't get anything for work. But don't do it. Find someone new. Get your creativity back. All right. We are caught up on readings. So let's go over the rules again, because that's what I do. Most of these cards that you see us working with are available at GoddessElite.com. Click on the shop, newly revamped. It's very slick. You should check it out. All of these readers are available through Goddess Elite. You can call the store to book a reading. You can go online to book a reading. We can read for you in the store if you'd like to come in and check it out. Make sure you have a couple hours. There's a lot of stuff. It's very difficult to get through quickly. Or we can do it on Zoom if you're not local. We are located in North Homestead, Ohio. If you would like a more extended reading, we're happy to do that for you. It will cost you $5, which in Facebook money is stars and in Twitch is bits. What else? What am I forgetting? We have our winery event coming up September 8th, I believe.
I think it's the 14th.
14th. Wow.
Yes.
I am never going to get that right. 14th. My ex-husband's birthday is the 8th. The one I like. September 14th from 5 to 10, we will have probably close to 30 readers and as many vendors, if not more. We're looking for vendors, so if you sell something, I'm happy to have you aboard. Just contact the store again, GoddessElite.com or info@GoddessElite.com, and we'll be happy to send you the application to vend. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. If you'd like a reading, also put your name in the chat and tell us what kind of reading you'd like. And that's what I have. So now we get to entertain ourselves because
Well,
we have
Sierra, where can people find you? What are your social media plugs?
So you can find me. I am also on the Goddess Elite website. By the way, I am reading this Saturday. If anyone is local and would like to get a reading from me, if you'd like to talk to some skulls and stuff and see what they have to say about you, I will be bringing some skulls with me. You can find me at Death and Dishonor Witchery. That is the name of my little witchery / reading Instagram. It's all one word, Death and Dishonor Witchery. You can find my oils that I sell at the shop there. You can book with through. I have a link that then will take you to the Goddess Elite website through there. And yeah, that's where you can find me. That is Instagram, by the way.
Cool.
How about you, Chris?
You can find me on Facebook at Medium Chris Clardy. You can also find me on I have a website that is Tarot and Lenormand by Chris. And those are the easiest ways to get a hold of me. And you can book a reading that way, or you can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram to set up a reading that way as well.
Nikki, do you do anything?
What?
Do you do anything?
Do I do anything?
Aside from shop,
I am the hostess with the mostest. I also just rebuilt the store part of the website. I'm more of a backdoor kind of person. So occasionally at an event, I will read if we are short.
So if you know Nikki's physical location, just knock on the door and maybe she'll treat you like they do in Practical Magic.
Right. Oh.
All right, Zach, you.
Yeah, your turn, Zach. Your turn.
Yeah.
Shameless plugs.
If you'd like a reading with me, contact the shop ideally first. Otherwise, you can look me up on Instagram at TIOCUAHUITL. You're going to have to watch the replay because I'm not spelling that again. And just contact me through there. But I typically do tarot. I will occasionally do automatic writing or deeper, just hands-off psychic insight. I don't typically do mediumship. It's something that it can be done. I just don't offer it. Yeah, I think that's all.
Spell it again.
TIOCUAHUITL.
HUITL.
Yep. I do have a class
That
coming
what?
up on Santa Muerte. I believe
Say it again.
Okay.
August 17th, Santa Muerte class. And then in September, keep an eye on the calendar because we still have yet to plan a date. But in September, I will be doing a folklore and folk saint class. So I'll be
cool.
talking about how to work with spirits of the place of where you are, because most towns have a cemetery that's been there forever, and going into the cemetery and finding the people of that area that could help you with whatever you want to accomplish in your own life. There's also certain areas that are really dense with certain spirits. Like if there's a certain kind of rock, for instance, where I live in Maumee, there's a certain kind of rock that has its own spirit. Where I live specifically, there's a lot of conifers and cedar trees. So there's working with cedar trees. If you live near a river, I'll tell you how to work with spirits of the river.
Wow.
But yeah, it'll be a folk magic class related to folklore of where you are.
I love that. That's cool.
That's very cool.
That contact was that at Gmail or was that
Instagram
Instagram?
at TIOCUAHUITL.
Karen, as far as your question about the coffin nail class, I might do it again in like a couple months, probably after the summertime. Everyone really liked it. It was cool seeing how everyone made their necklaces really differently. And it was also cool seeing a lot of the mothers and daughters that came in to make them together. So I would love to do that again. So in a couple months, just keep an eye to the event on the events page on Facebook or on the website, and it'll be posted.
So you get spiritual protection and a weapon?
You do.
That's
I
awesome.
like it. I like it a lot.
Sierra, I'm going to message you later about that because I have something that you might be interested in when it comes to making those.
I would love that. Okay.
You live like near Cleveland, like fairly close, right?
30 minutes south. I live over where Emily lives.
Okay.
Not far from me.
Yeah. We all live relatively close. Either way, we'll figure it out.
Well, I think actually where you'll have to go is Lakewood. You'll have to go to Lakewood.
Yeah, that's like 25, 30 minutes.
Okay. See, I live like an hour and some change from where y'all are, so
Oh no, you're so far.
yeah.
I don't live close, that's for sure. I live out in Amish country, so.
It's funny because
Do you?
earlier Nikki mentioned like if you're local. Hi, local is a relative term when you live in Ohio, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I tell people, I'm like, oh yeah, I live in the Cleveland area.
So do I.
I don't
We
live
all live in the Cleveland area.
because if
It
I
takes me
tell
40
you
minutes to
exactly,
get downtown, but I'm still in that area.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you exactly where I live, people are going to be like, I don't know where that's at. Like,
Anytime I tell people exactly where I live, they still don't know where I live. They've never heard of where I live.
Oh yeah. And I'll start. I'm like, okay, I live in the snow belt. Yeah.
Like I just tell people I live near Sandusky because most people know where Cedar Point is. So I'm like, I live near Sandusky.
Unless you live near Upper Sandusky, which is nowhere near Sandusky.
No. Then
Right.
people. So when I'm in Columbus, people will always be like, "Oh wait, you're from Upper Sandusky." I'm like, "No, I'm not from Upper."
I'm from actual Sandusky.
Yeah, I always end up telling people I live halfway between Cleveland and Youngstown because they just can't grasp. Even if I tell them I'm close to Burton, they don't know where Burton's at either.
Yeah, I live about halfway between Toledo and Cleveland. Like Toledo
Okay.
proper and Cleveland proper. I live about halfway between the two.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you're not far from us either.
No.
No.
I think I'm 70 miles.
I think I'm like between 50 and like 60, 50, yeah, 50 and 60 from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Or at least from North Olmsted. At least from North Olmsted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hike. And I've been going to the development circle there with Jim's group for like 3 years.
Wow.
So every other Tuesday. This summer I haven't made it too much because I'm the only one here during the week to take care of the animals after work. So
Ah,
I gotta come home and feed the
you have
horses.
critters. What do you have?
Yeah.
What kind of critters you got?
I have chickens and we've got 6 dogs and I've got 4 horses.
Cool. Woman
Yeah.
after my own heart. I have chickens, turkeys, 2 quail. Right now I have 12 dogs.
Oh my gosh. You're as
I
bad
rescued
as
one who had puppies.
oh goodness.
Normally I have 4.
Yeah.
2 cats. My fish over here, whose tank is looking not so hot. And I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting. Oh, I have a house chicken too.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Pheasants,
No, they screech.
do they? When I was
Yeah.
really,
Kinda like
really, really
the-
young.
Peacocks, they make a horrible noise.
Yeah. When I was really, really, really young, my dad had quail and pheasant at his dad's land. So I remember going out and feeding them.
Yeah, we
They're
had
always happy to see you when you have food.
we had golden pheasants and peacocks and guineas and pigeons and weird different breeds of ducks. And when I was growing up, we had all kinds of stuff. You name it, we had it at one point in time.
I really want a duck, but I don't want to put in a pond.
Well, you don't really need a pond if you have a little kiddie pool for them, so they have some water to float around in. But they are so messy.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, they're messy, messy little critters. They're funny though.
The turkeys are funny. They keep trying to break in the house.
Yeah, I would actually like a pair of turkeys. They're funny. I like them too, especially the tom turkeys.
The running just cracks me up. If you've never seen a turkey run, they're like their whole body practically flips from side to side as they go. It's hilarious.
I love watching the little Indian runner ducks where like their
Oh.
arms are so close to the side.
Yeah.
Their necks are, they look so funny when they run.
Yeah.
I used to volunteer at a stable and take care of like her horses and her chickens, and she had those little Indian runner ducks, and I just thought they were the funniest thing ever.
Yeah. They're cute. They're funny.
Yeah, that one woman up in Canada who's got she's pretty famous on TikTok, and hers is named Pencil. If you don't know an Indian duck, they stand up very straight. They're not like a normal duck, front to back like a dog. They're very tall and they keep their heads up high. So you could pick them up and write like a pencil. It's a cute
Oh my
name.
gosh. That's pretty funny. Now we're going to be looking up Indian runner ducks.
Indian runner duck.
They are. They're so dumb.
That would be a turkey. Turkeys are really dumb.
Yeah. But
My dad-
sweet.
They are. They're very sweet. And the tom turkeys just crack me up. But if you move things and you don't actually their water, for example, if you move their water somewhere and you don't keep taking them back to show them where you moved it, they'll die, dehydrate and die.
They also don't understand fences.
No.
You have the fence gate open and they'll just keep trying to go through the fence itself.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the gate's open, go this
They
way.
never learn the concept of a solid can't pass through a solid.
No. But they did learn how to try and get in the house. They're pretty damn good at it. I was at the
Oh,
store the
gosh.
other day, and my doorbell cam kept going off because one had gotten out of the yard and was coming in the house a new way. And I had to call my neighbor, please go get my turkey. I won't be there for an hour. But yeah,
Oh,
turkeys
my
they're
gosh.
just funny.
Yeah, they are. They're hoot.
Wow, it's a quiet night.
It is. Where is everybody?
I don't know. Well, we appreciate everyone that's here.
Zach, can you tell us more about the Santa Muerte class and what you're going to be talking
Oh,
about?
you're having a Santa Muerte class.
The Santa Muerte class will go over a little bit about the theorization of where she originated, as well as a little bit more of like the folklore of where she originated. So there's an historical aspect of this is where we believe she came from, and then there's the aspect of this is how she entered the mainstream culture. I'll be talking about specifically her 3 robes, what they represent, and going to her in those aspects. I'll go over how they're not distinct deities, they're all her. The way a lot of people describe it is like you have your mother, but you have your mother as teacher. You have your mother as protector. You have your mother as the tax doer. You have your mother as, the mother herself cooking and cleaning. You have, so it's the same person functioning differently.
Yeah.
I'll go over a little bit about her offerings, some of the other folk saints that work well with her, the ones that you shouldn't, like the taboos that you shouldn't do. For instance, it is very traditional that she has her own space set aside. She can be very jealous, but that doesn't mean that she is cut off from everyone. So there are other folk saints like Jesus Malverde, or other Catholic saints like Our Lady of Guadalupe, St. Michael, and St. Jude, who work very well with her. I might teach how to make an oil of Santa Muerte that you can use as a way to like anoint your car, anoint cards for petitions, anoint candles for workings, that kind of a thing. I think that's all I had planned.
That's cool.
Wow.
As well as giving a few sources for like where I get my information, because a lot of it comes from like, scattered like interviews and like write-ups that I have to put into Google Translate to get anywhere near what they're talking about, because my Spanish is awful. But there are 2 big sources of information, and this is my opinion, and this is the opinion of a lot of people that have ever worked with Santa Muerte. The books that you will find, and I'm not going to name names, if you do an Amazon search or a Google search, it's like the first 5 that always show up. Bad information, very bad information.
Right.
Mostly because these people do not have the cultural context.
Right.
These are typically people who were born in America, are not Mexican, even reconnecting, mixed race Mexicans. These are people who they themselves probably got really bad information. So the sources that I have are really, really into the practice, but not very well known.
Wow. Yeah, there are a couple of books out there that I think I know what you're talking about, and one of them I couldn't even get through it.
Mm-hmm.
It was painful.
Yeah.
I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico originally, so that's the culture that I grew up in, and the couple of books that I'm thinking of, I'm like, where did you get this information?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very misleading and disappointing, because if it's somebody who you're really trying to learn and work with and you're misguided, I mean, it can actually set you up in a bad way, because you're going down a path that you're learning from somebody who doesn't understand, which can be dangerous.
Yeah. To touch on that, so I'm a Santa Muerte devotee too. So like this whole altar back here is actually like all her, as I like knock stuff over. But it's it's funny because I'll have people come in the store and they're so afraid because of all the information that they've learned about her, and they're so scared to even touch her because of all the like fear mongering around you can only do this and you can only do that and you can, and like because of the information that they got. And I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, did these people actually like work with her themselves? Because if you did, you would know that like this is not at all how she portrays herself. This is not at all how she acts towards people. She's literally like the lover and carer of the misfits and the people that the world love to hate. And so it's very sad, which is why I'm also like really excited that Zach is teaching this class, because I'm hoping that it will like open people's eyes to it not being such a scary thing. Like she's already like for stereotypical reasons scary to look at. So people are just so they look at her and they're scared of her and they run away from whatever she has to offer, and she has to offer a lot. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because she's scary now, but like if you look at photographs like in the late 1800s, early 1900s of like people dressed as Krampus, and you know they didn't think that was scary then.
No.
So when she becomes scary,
Well, I don't look at some of the clips from the early 80s and late 70s, the Halloween costumes. I mean, you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, those were creepy. But that's how they were made back then. And they didn't seem creepy when you were a kid. But nowadays, when you look back at them, you're like, oh my gosh. It's just the way things have evolved.
Yeah, I think it's the way people have talked about things. Like they make things sound so much worse and scarier than they are.
Right.
I think especially in America, because we have that whole funeral business.
Oh my God.
I have go into a whole thing about that. Disconnected from death. We don't see the beauty in it, the full picture. You know, we just, oh, they died, and then they were in the casket, and then they're in the ground. The priest came. You know,
I tell people all the time, I'm like, we literally experience death almost every single day of our lives. Whether it be it's the death of, you know, an old way of thinking, the death of a job, the death, like we experience it all the time. But because we don't call it death or we call it change, it's like people are like, I could get into a whole thing about this, but like, that was kind of what I explained during my coffin nail class. I'm like, the fact that you guys are here with the first word in this class being coffin, already means a lot, because people, expose that with, or put that together with death, and death is just very scary to people, but not knowing that you literally experience it every single day of your life.
Yeah.
You're constantly shedding skin cells that were alive and are now dead.
Yeah.
So you're dying every minute.
This stuff here, dead. Like
dead. Yeah. It's all dead. He's dead. You know, just dead.
Yeah. Yeah. We're turning into this society of people who are just too softened to everything.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and we make everything easy and loving, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's also not sharing the true side of how life really is. Mm-hmm. Because when people are actually faced with it, they just don't know what to do, and they shut down, and they're traumatized, and they don't know how to work through situations because they've been taught and told and sheltered so much that it makes it 10 times worse than what it is. And if they just understood the grand scheme of things, and it's really not a death, it's a new beginning to something.
Yep.
We're all stardust.
Yep.
It's a very circular pattern.
Everything
cyclical. We all exist in the circle.
Yep.
But we can stay on and chat, or it's past 9:00. We've had no one new. You feel free to log off if you like. I'm sure some of you have lives. I don't, but someone does.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
I am personally going to head out, but in case anything else happens, I hope you guys have a good rest of your reading.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
You too. Thanks for coming. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah, it was good to see you
I'll
guys.
see you Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
So we want to keep talking about that?
And, I mean, if anyone really wants to get into it, there is. So I'm sure because we all run in the same circles, this person has probably come across any YouTube user, Caitlin Doty. She explores death in From Here to Eternity. It's one of my favorite books.
Okay.
This is the cover. But she has her own death co-op, like a bunch of funeral houses, I guess, but they're kind of like just spaces for you to DIY your own funeral. But yeah, if you want to hear someone go on about the industrial complex that is funerals, she's
Right.
a really good source.
Oh,
But
wow.
the funny thing is, back to Santa Muerte, one of the theories that I'll be discussing of her image comes from El Catrín y la Catrina. She was a Spanish image, and this is a statue of La Catrina.
Mm.
And then he comes out.
She's dressed as an elegant Spanish woman, and you see this a
Oh, I
lot
love
on Day of the Dead altars.
Mhm.
But this is how you would go into the ground, back in like the late
Right.
18, early 1900s.
Oh, wow.
Dressed in your best, very brightly colored skeleton. A corpse, right? I mean, you're not decomposed yet, hopefully. But
And I know that as a civilization, we've been doing that for thousands of years. But I wonder, like, how that started. They put him in all his armor, give him a bucket of water, give him, I mean, where did you think that all started? I mean, even the Egyptians did it, Vikings did it, everyone does it.
I think it starts from our humanity. I think it starts from this idea that we want our loved ones to be cared for when they go into that next part of their life.
Yeah.
It comes from inside. It doesn't come from an influence or a response to an external thing. It's very internal. It's very, it's care, it's compassion, and it's love.
Yeah. It's that send off, to the next phase and wanting and that sharing that love of making sure that they are seen as a loving being that they were on both for here and for there.
And these were all of her favorite things. This is who she is.
Yeah.
I just really would like to know, and I'll probably never know, when that really started. Did Neanderthals do it? Was it
There have
pre
been
them?
there have been Neolithic grave sites that have been found where they've found like situations like that where there was one, oh my God, it was so very sad but very beautiful. It was this mother and newborn who had died, and they took a swan wing and it was like underneath them. The swan wing was like holding them.
Oh, wow.
And like they were found with clothing, they were found with some cooking ware, jewelry, things that like the mother would need. So it probably goes this far back to our very early human ancestors. But then we also have animals that we observe, like elephants. Elephants have funerals. Crows have funerals.
Yeah.
And they've been seen putting leaves and flowers in with the deceased. So wonder if dolphins do it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm sure they're so incredibly intelligent. I would even guessed that they were as intelligent as a human or more. They're such incredible beings that, yeah, I'm sure that they do something.
And apparently elephants get the same serotonin rush when they look at people that we get when we look at puppies. So they think we're cute.
Oh. Yeah, and elephants are one of the few animals. There's only a couple of animals other than us that have the ability to recognize facial features.
Oh, and crows.
Yeah. Yeah, crows can too. Yeah, there's
And
only a
they'll
handful of
friends.
animals with the ability to do that.
Yeah, animals are pretty incredible.
They are. They are.
And they're also different.
They're on a whole different level than us.
But yeah, back to the funeral business. I mean, we're the only country in the world that does that. And I don't understand. When
a business. We make what
Right.
if there is a dime to be made, then we'll turn it into some way to make a buck off of it. That's our culture. And it's sad.
I was in Ireland and they were shocked that we had to pay to be buried. And how much it costs. Because they don't, they still do it the old way. You keep the body, go to church, go to the graveyard, and they have the ceremony.
I didn't know this, but my uncle passed away a year ago in April, and we don't know for sure what he actually died from. He was 64 years old. And he was diabetic, so we don't know if it was a complication from diabetes. But the coroner deemed it natural causes. Okay. So in order to get an autopsy done, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for an autopsy, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
unless they suspect you were killed.
Right, unless if it was a homicide, then it would have been taken care of by the state. But if it's somebody who passes away and the coroner deems it natural causes, now come on, a 64-year-old man these days is not considered elderly, you know. So you would think I had no idea that they charge for stuff like that. But I mean, they'll charge for everything.
They charge for everything.
Yeah.
There was a teen death that happened several years ago around where I live. And I was Facebook friends with the family, several members from the family, and even close friends. And they had to pay $3 for them to release the body to the family. They had to pay for a corpse.
Wow.
Why?
$3. Like, yeah, it's nothing, but there should be no charge.
No.
For a family to take their
grieving.
Own.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
$3.
There's something wrong with our society.
This country is so backwards sometimes. It just amazes me.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
But I see they're now going to start offering Viking funerals again. There's a company that's going to do it. Because why not? I'd be down with that. I told my kids, if I die, just cremate me and scatter my ashes in the ocean. This doesn't matter. What happens to this is how it happened. Nothing more is going to happen to it.
Right. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be stuck in a box and buried.
No. Ashes to ashes.
I wouldn't mind that if I would actually decompose, right? So,
you can.
Like, there's green burial options, but like most of the people, like, you're not becoming worm food. You're in a metal box, in a wooden box, preserved like a pickle with formaldehyde. So you're not decomposing. You are not worm food. You are, for all intents and purposes, a dry specimen in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your flesh liquefies, and then you're just a goopy mess for
Yeah.
a really long time. It's pretty
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
I'll pass. But they do
Yeah.
have the natural burials now where, you can just be wrapped in linen and put in the ground. They also have compostable mushroom caskets now. So the casket breaks down with you and you turn into a mushroom.
Wow.
Turned into a diamond. There's a lot of, you can be a tree. They will put you in a bundle with a tree and you feed the tree. I think that's kind of weird. I think we're going to end up with Ents, and they're just going to start walking around taking people out now when we piss off Mother Nature. So watch out. Well, we
Oh,
crossed
my
this person with a tree. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's nice that they're coming up with these different options because I don't want to be in a casket. I'm claustrophobic and I don't want to be.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd rather you leave me out in the woods and let the animals have at me.
Yeah.
But that's illegal. So what do you do?
But you just want to be fed to nature.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
How is that illegal? Just don't get it.
Yeah. My goodness.
But how different is Santa Muerte from Our Lady of Guadalupe? Is there?
There's a few different beliefs on it. One of my favorites is that they're two sides of the same coin. That they're sisters. There's a saying, and I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's something along the lines of Our Lady of Guadalupe grants blessings. Santa Muerte answers to deals. So
She answers to what?
to
heal?
Deal. DEALS.
Oh, okay.
So where Our Lady of Guadalupe will give you blessings if she deems it's right. Santa Muerte, so long as you make a deal with her, she'll come through. There is no morality. Whereas with Our Lady of Guadalupe, specifically Our Lady of Guadalupe, not Tositonancin, not her being seen as like the indigenous amalgamation of all of the pre-Hispanic goddess deities. Mary will only give a blessing if she feels that it is morally okay to do so. Santa Muerte, if you give her something, she'll give something to you.
Okay. So she can be bought.
Yes. In fact, a lot of our relationship, she and I, was very transactional. It wasn't dry. It was just very, I need this. Can you help me? Sure. And she did.
Okay.
It was like that for about 2 or 3 years. And then when certain things with myself and friends started coming up, she started showing her face again. So she's always like there to be like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still listening. It just wasn't any more a developed relationship. It was always, don't forget, like, I'll still listen. Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Wow.
I work Egyptian things and they're almost transactional. They want the reverence, not necessarily a transaction, but they want some kind of reverence, it seems like, and then they're more inclined to help you. It's like, well, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, with Santa Muerte, it's definitely, it can be if you want to treat it like a business, you can treat it like a business. There's this idea that you always have to develop a relationship with every spirit. That's not the case for every pantheon, right?
Right.
So if you look at like Santeria or Voodoo, you don't even get to pick who you're going to work with. That's already been determined. With those, you have to become, a lot of times when you're initiated in those traditions, you become their slave. They will use the term for those spirits. You are not allowed to pick and choose. You have to serve them. Now, people don't like that kind of language because they make it comes off as very like abusive. That's not the case. You entered that tradition knowing that information because it is told to you. And you are not a slave to them in the sense that that word may denote. You're actively engaging together with them. Where people say you do have to develop a relationship with them, or it's a good idea to develop a relationship with them. That is not the case over all pantheons. They all work very differently. With Santa Muerte, you have lifelong devotees who very much do see her as a mother, as a protector. You have those who do use her black robe, for instance, for very nefarious purposes. But then we get into the sociology of it. Like the people going to her black robe for nefarious purposes are probably doing so because they were left no other choice. This is their lot in life and they're trying to survive. We have to suspend a bit of our morality, not into immorality, but into amorality when we look at Santa Muerte. She's death. Death has no moral leaning. You die whether you're good or bad.
Right.
Right.
So there is no necessary. And if you want it to be
Now,
transactional, it can be transactional.
Is she death itself? Is she coming, you've died and then like she has a Grim Reaper type of role? What do we mean when we say she is death?
Depending on who you're asking, you're gonna get usually
I'm
one
Puerto
of two
Rican.
responses.
I should know this, by the way.
You're gonna get one of two responses. One is that she is death itself. She is the energy of death. The other is that she is a personification or a symbol of death, and she represents death in an archetypal sense. That is very dependent on what you decide to believe or what conclusions you come to with her.
Okay.
Now, is she the one that's going to come for your soul after dying? That she will take you to the next life. That kind of stuff is very much dependent on who your teacher was or what you yourself have developed in your own belief system, in your own spiritual formation with working with her.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There was a good movie. I can't think of the name of it. But there was a Middle Eastern woman who dies and Anubis comes to take her over, and she asked him why he came for her, and he said, because you still believe the old ways. And the history, the story, the truth. And I thought, well, that's pretty interesting that, you don't necessarily, like, you can choose kind of almost who you want to.
A lot of her followers are Catholic. Like, they still, if you were to ask them, like, what's your religion? They would say, well, I'm a Catholic, as well as a devotee of Santa Muerte, because she's not seen as a goddess in a lot of circles. She is just seen as another saint. And that kind of goes for most of the folk saints you'll find in Mexico. But I would bet that most devotees of her would want her to show up on their deathbed because they're familiar with her. They do love her. They do feel she loves them. They would ideally want her to be there to take them to wherever their next life is. Just as much as, a pure Catholic will say, who doesn't, involve themselves with anything else, would probably want their guardian angel or Saint Michael or Saint Peter, to come to them.
Yeah.
But do they have that kind of time? I mean, I'm thinking they got other stuff to do too.
What's funny is, like, I always love when people think that certain deities, if you disrespect them, will come for you and attack you. What makes you so important that any amount of little disrespect you gave to them, they're going to take it out on you? They have other things to deal with. They have the people that do respect them that they're working for. They don't care.
Right.
Now, if you're in certain circles and believe those things and you actively do respect those spirits that you do believe in, yeah, there might be potential for them to do something to you. But if you're just someone who is an atheist and like talks shit about like folk saints and something, they're not gonna come to you. Like they don't. You are a non-issue. So I always find that funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, for those that
Well,
are
that's like
involved, like,
some of
I
those
do
books
think they do.
allude to that. Some
Did
of the
they?
books that we were kind of talking about earlier, they allude to that. If you don't do exactly what is said, if you don't, go do exactly what you say you're going to do and do it, to the T, then you're going to be in trouble for it.
Yeah. When it comes to making promises with her, it's always your best thing to hold through with those promises.
Right.
That doesn't mean, this is a popular myth with her, is that if you break a promise with her, she'll either kill you or kill one of your loved ones. That's simply a myth.
Yeah.
If you receive a favor from her and you don't give her proper payment, the likelihood is more of that thing will be taken away from you, or something else equivalent will happen. So like, let's say you need a car and you get a car, either something's going to happen where that car gets repoed, or you're going to get in a crash.
That makes sense.
It's, especially if it's a
More
transactional kind of a relationship, it's definitely going to be that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, I'm going to take your loved one or I'm going to take your life.
Right.
What I have found from my own investigation with that is that's propaganda. Probably developed by the Catholic Church.
Oh,
because
yeah.
They don't like her. So
Right.
It was spread, and then like that's where you get that.
Yeah.
They don't like when you venerate any saints. I mean, in reality, they don't care for that. They don't put pictures of the saints or statues of the saints in churches anymore
Mm-hmm.
for a reason. They just don't like it.
Wow.
It's one true God, and the saints were, down here somewhere. You shouldn't be reverering. What's the word I'm looking for?
Venerating.
Venerating them. Yes, you should not be venerating saints according to the church. Have you ever been to the Statue Museum in Lakewood?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, go. It's fantastic. So, God, I can't think of his name. Lusso is his last name. He also owns a cosmetic company, but he gets these statues from churches and repairs them and repaints them in their original colors. And he's got them all on display.
Oh, wow.
And some of them are incredible. I mean, he's got some really nice stuff. And if you're nice to him, he'll let you go to the workshop area with the ones that aren't done yet. So it's pretty cool. But I think he's only open on Sundays for like 4 hours or something. But it's in an old church. So it's really
pretty neat.
Yeah. I have a thing for stained glass. I just love it. Just love it. And we've been doing it for so long. I find it incredible that, we can't replicate some of these windows they made 2,000 years ago. It's an incredible art form. And it tells so many stories that, I was like, I got to go check it out. It was really cool.
Wow. Well, I think it's time for me to check out. I need to go feed my horses.
Yeah, I probably need to feed puppies now.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants a puppy, they're cute.
What kind of puppies are they?
Mom is a hound mix, and I have no idea what Dad was.
Oh, okay.
They don't look like her though. I'm thinking Dad might have been kind of pit bull. I have a couple brindles.
Okay.
But
I think they're going to be like medium size-ish.
Yeah, she's only 40 pounds.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's not a very big dog.
Gotcha.
And it was kind of devastating. She had 16 and only 8 made it.
Oh my gosh.
And she had them under the back porch, so I had to crawl in and under the porch and grab a puppy and get it out and take it in the house. And then my big dog, I have a Great Pyrenees who's Aunt Blue. She's taking them, cleaning them, and keeping them warm while I get the next one.
Oh my gosh.
was insane. It was just insane. I didn't think there'd be so many, but
Wow.
yeah, these guys are happy and healthy. We're going to the vet next week for shots and warming, so
Wow.
that'll be expensive and fun, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they'll be good to go in about 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
So if you know anybody, let me know.
I will.
Well, it was lovely chatting with both of you. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
Maybe we'll cut this segment off and make it its own thing. It was an interesting
That would be
discussion.
kind of cool, just having a discussion about,
Yeah,
you know.
Santa Muerte and death and the funeral
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You too. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.